So here's the thing, he did score yesterday in the Battle of Alberta, the Heritage Classic between Calgary and Edmonton. But today we're talking about a guy who honestly looked kind of surprised that he had scored. A guy who has been the subject of many conversations regarding disappointments and potential regrets for the organization. Let's talk about Nazem Kadri, for like the third time this week. If you hadn't already seen, we had talked about the upcoming Heritage Classic, and I say upcoming because the video was made beforehand. We talked about the Battle of Alberta. We also made a video on the top 5 most disappointing players in the NHL, and Kadri was indeed listed there. But what happened yesterday kind of goes out there and solidifies everything that we're talking about. You see, I've seen a few Oilers games this year. They've popped up on my timeline, they've popped up on my TV screen, especially since the Canucks played them a few times. It's easy to get involved and see what's going on over there. But I'll admit, yesterday's Calgary Flames and Oilers Heritage Classic was the first time I had sat down and fully, truly watched 60 minutes uninterrupted of Flames hockey. And man, they were so bad. Multiple 5-on-3 power plays, they couldn't convert on those. They couldn't move the puck properly on those. All the other chances they had, you saw just the ill-advised passes back to the point, the lack of back-checking, the inability to effectively win board battles. This Calgary Flames team is down bad. And one of the guys that we have been talking about this entire time, who is in the midst of an extreme, disappointing downfall, is that Nazem Kadri. Now here's the thing, when Nazem Kadri scored his goal, the first goal, opening goal of the entire contest, he was just in the right place at the right time. He goes out there and tips a puck in off of a long shot. This puts his entire point production for 23-24 at 2 points in 9 games played. 1 goal, 1 assist. He is on pace for 18 total points. But after he scored, he went over to the bench, and he looked like this. This was the reaction. Now, you know, people are going out there saying, oh, well, it's Evander Kane. He went out there and said something. There was some trash talking going on. But if you take a look at this screenshot and you see some of the Reddit comments, oh boy, it's funny. I can't believe it either, guys. The first comment says, LMAO, he straight up looks shocked. You guys seeing this crap? The Oilers scored 60 seconds after this stare down. He just looks so confused at what to do when you score a goal. I'm sorry, but he just looks lost when your Nickelback concert gets interrupted by a hockey game. Nazem Kadri has had such a bad season so far, and he's played so poorly thus far, that when he does score a goal, it's a really interesting event. It seems like he doesn't know what to do. Kadri has had such a bad season this year, and when it comes to why this has happened, you could say it's a few things. Motivation, engagement, systems. In fact, you had the coach go out there and say afterwards that the Kadri, Coronado, and Huberdeau line wasn't looking good, and you saw so much sarcasm in response to this entire thread. Oh, look at that, our coach is a detective. He is Sherlock Holmes going out there. And then there are the folks saying that Matthew Coronado does not really need to be lumped in there, and that he is really being given a disservice by playing with these players and being placed on the third line. There's so much discourse going around about Huberdeau and Kadri together, how they've lacked chemistry, how they've lacked talent. And for now, Nazem Kadri, it seems more so like this guy is just straight up going out there and going for a skate instead of straight up playing the hockey that made him a $7 million AAV player in the first place. At the very least, Jonathan Huberdeau has quite a few more points, but for Nazem Kadri, this entire downfall from 2 years ago to now is shocking. Even last year, you could see that there was a little bit of the Nazem Kadri that was super valuable in that profile. 56 points, 82 games played, sure, he wasn't scoring the 100 points that we thought he'd be able to get, but to go from that to this, now everybody is memeing on you because of this Heritage Classic game. Now people are asking questions as to how much the Flames regret making this signing. Because you got so many more years. He's on till 2029. $7 million apiece, and he's going out there as the unmotivated, lazy third liner who's only got 2 points in 9 games and who looks super lost when he does score. The Heritage Classic had so many eyes on it that I think this could have been a wake-up call for the rest of the fan base in the NHL. You know, we all saw the numbers, we all heard the conversations, we all saw that the Calgary Flames were not doing all too well. And it was like, okay, well, their guys aren't getting points. Now we actually watched them. Now, for many of us, we had a full 60-minute uninterrupted program of Calgary Flames hockey, and we saw just how bad they were. Now they're second last in the NHL. The Edmonton Oilers overtook them with yesterday's win. And for some reason, this entire system just seems to not be working. For Kadri, though, I won't be surprised if he ends off the season, let's say, with 30, maybe 40 points. We said this the other day, but he's not that bad, right? Like, he'll bounce back, he'll get some points, this line is not going to be terrible forever, right? I don't know, dude. That's the thing. They've been so bad that it's tough to look at this situation and see any resemblance of hope. That now all the doom and gloom in Calgary has started to manifest into an overwhelming, overbearing, overshadowing cloud. And the big question is, what the hell happens now? Here's a post made on the Calgary Flames subreddit from before the game yesterday. Huberdeau and Kadri playing together. Am I losing it, or should these two never be on the ice together, period? There's negative chemistry and a 60 or so game sample size to prove it. Why? If they were tanking, I'd get it, but they aren't trying to, as far as I know. Armchair GM Podcast goes out there and asks. The next comment says, Huberdeau and Kadri have zero chemistry with anyone and drag down whatever line they're on. Might as well put them together and mess up one line rather than two. And that is a very pessimistic perspective. Hey, you've got two bad players, anchors of contracts that are really just taking the life out of everybody they play with. Well, put them on the same line, so at the very least, they're not sucking the life out of two lines on the team at the same time. That is really bad. Huberdeau has zero chemistry with Elias Lindholm, as meanie Daryl Sutter stated, and the backline line has been our most consistent line, and our fourth line is looking better every game. Where would you move them to? And here is the kicker, and it's what I was trying to build up to, because Armchair GM Podcast goes out there and says this about Nazem Kadri. Quite honestly, I'd scratch the guy until he stops being an unaccountable, unreliable, selfish player. I don't give two craps about salary, but unfortunately management does, so that won't happen. I honestly think a second line with Huberdeau and any two of Igor, Dubé, and or Coronado would be worth a try. If you go back and look at Huberdeau's career highlights, a fairly big chunk of them include guys who drafted a net with sticks on the ice, getting tap-in passes. The problem to me is Lindholm doesn't drive to the net, and Kadri, well, he skates the puck in, he turns it over, or dumps it in on net blindly too often. You shouldn't need to try this hard to find line mates for who should be your top three forwards. It's frustrating and unacceptable, but here we are. Have you not noticed Nazem Kadri is the face of the franchise now? He represents us in every NHL or Flames-related ad. Yeah, it's insanely frustrating. There is massive regret here, and I did not see this coming. Not 2 years ago, or not 2 seasons ago, when he was signed by the Calgary Flames. Not 2 years ago, when he had scored at a 100-point pace. But, Calgary Flames fans, I want you to let me know in the comments, is there hope? Is there any sort of retribution possible in this situation for Nazem Kadri? Or is it really just going to be a long 6 years? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. 99. And bye.